If you like my videos and want to support me on Patreon, please click the link below. Thank you. Wrestling games have a long and storied past, starting all the way back in 1985 with Bop and Wrestle on the Commodore 64. It wasn't until a certain Japanese developer took everything he learned after creating the beat-em-up genre, decided to implement it into the world of professional wrestling. So come on along, you pencil-neck geeks. We're going to talk about the history of WWF Wrestlefest. WWF Wrestlefest is an arcade beat-em-up released in 1991 by Technos of Japan. The game was designed by Yoshihisa Kishimoto, who is often credited as the grandfather of the beat-em-up genre. Mr. Kishimoto was the head designer behind such arcade hits as Super Dodgeball, Renegade, and Double Dragon. Mr. Kishimoto wanted to create the pageantry and excitement of a live WWF event. This is why there were ring entrances and interviews with Mean Gene Okerlund to create the whole TV-style presentation.
It's time to fight with a powerful challenge. We snack on danger, dine on death. To bury every gerbil-faced geek we face. Yeah!
Was the WWF game Mr. Kishimoto developing WWF Wrestlefest? Absolutely not. That game was WWF Superstars. WWF Superstars is a 1989 beat-em-up featuring the likes of Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, The Big Boss Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Andre. The game is strictly a tag team affair as you set out to become the WWF Tag Team Champions. The tag team champs of this game are Andre the Giant and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, who unfortunately are both unplayable.
They are declaring themselves challengers to your World Championship belt.
No one can beat Megabucks.
I'll put you to sleep with my $1 Million dream.
If you are playing this on the MAME emulator, it is possible to select these two characters. If you do select these two characters, Andre is ridiculously overpowered. When playing against the tag team champs, remember, Andre is so large you can only lift him once or twice during a match. If you are successful and become the tag team champions, you get a nice cutscene from the lovely Miss Elizabeth. Now, since LJN held all the home rights to WWF video games, Technos was not allowed to release any home ports of the arcade version. Considering some of the high-quality WWF video games LJN was putting out, perhaps this was a good thing. As copyright laws are a bit lax over in Europe, Ocean Software decided to bring a version of this game to the home computer market. While not a straight-up conversion, it is very similar graphically to the arcade game WWF Superstars. WWF Wrestlemania was released for the home computer market in 1991 by Ocean Software. Upon first glance, the game looks very similar to WWF Superstars. However, the gameplay is definitely not. Most home computers had a joystick which only used one fire button at the time. You could still punch and do a running attack, but really that's about it. When the two wrestlers would lock up, it would initiate a grapple. At this point, you would have to shake your joystick back and forth. Whoever did this the fastest would win the grapple and perform their that's right, only one move per wrestler. Now, since this game was released only in Europe, and I live all the way over in the USA, there was only one way for me to get it, and that was through a European distributor. I think I paid close to $70 for this game, and to say I was disappointed is a bit of an understatement. The The game also only featured 3 playable wrestlers: Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, and the British Bulldog, all with the exact same movesets. WWF Wrestlefest ups the ante in almost every department. The game allows up to 4 players simultaneously. There are 2 modes available: Saturday night's main event, in which you try to win the WWF Tag Team titles, and the other is the awesome Royal Rumble mode. The roster includes the immortal Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts, the Big Boss Man, Sergeant Slaughter, Mr. Perfect, Earthquake, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Demolition Smash, Demolition Crush, Hawk from the Legion of Doom, Animal from the Legion of Doom. The developers of the game wanted to include the Warlord and the Undertaker in the game, but they were told no by the WWF. They also insisted that Earthquake be included in the game because John Tenta was a big sumo star in Japan. In tag team mode, the Legion of Doom were not selectable. However, thanks to MAME, now they are. The LOD have twice as much energy as any other wrestler in the game. Also, their moves do 25% more damage. Wrestlers can now do double team moves, and if the player is on the apron for any length of time, they can do a hot tag. The player who is tagged in will be powered up for 20 seconds, and they will win every grapple they have initiated. If you feel you've done all you can inside the ring, throw them outside and beat the living piss out of them. Your weapons of choice are either a steel case or the metal stairs. The new mode of play is the Royal Rumble. Elimination occurs after pinfall, submission, or throwing them over the top rope. All of the wrestlers in the game now feature their actual movesets and finishing moves. Hulk Hogan has his big boot and leg drop. Ultimate Warrior has his gorilla press. Mr. Kishimoto really succeeded in bringing the TV-style presentation to the arcade game. There are ring entrances, ring introductions, and commentary. Since the game was developed in Japan, Technos did not have access to any WWF wrestlers, so unfortunately, sound-alikes were used. If you overcome all of the odds and actually pin the Legion of Doom, which is a hard feat in itself, you will become the Tag Team Champions of the world. In 2012, THQ released WWE Wrestlefest for the iOS platform. The game featured an updated roster with John Cena, Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns. The game received poor reviews across the board, so the planned Android version never materialized. Part of the reason it received low reviews across the board is because fans of the original were expecting a straight-up conversion. What we received was a half-baked 2-bit piece of crap update which nobody wanted. The graphics and animation in this game are absolutely laughable. They look like they were produced in a 1960s Korean sweatshop. I've watched episodes of Hello Kitty with better animation. What is the point of doing an update of something that we love so much if you're only going to ruin it? What is it about this game that I love so much and have for the last 28 years? There was nothing better than getting 4 friends together and laying the smackdown on them. This was also the very first arcade game to feature wrestlers' real moves and real entrances. Long before MAME, when arcades were still the place to go, whenever I would see this game out in the wild, I would always have to stop and drop a few quarters, much to the chagrin of my girlfriend. Now you may ask, Patman, why would your girlfriend hate you playing this game so much? To quote a certain 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, brother, at this game, I was the man. With the insertion of just one single quarter, I was getting funky like a monkey, and everybody who challenged me was going to be doing hard time, daddy. Excuse me. Well, there you have it, folks. WrestleFest is one of the best arcade wrestling games of all time. There is a reason why after 28 years, it is still so hugely popular. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Grab a few friends and give it a shot. You'll be glad you did. If you like this video and want to support me on Patreon, please do so by clicking the link below. Also, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ding that bell. It's the only way my little channel can grow. Thank you for watching.